Hi guys, Will here. Thanks again for supporting this video. As I've stated numerous times, I appreciate you guys so much for your continued support over the last month or so with these videos. As I stated, I really enjoy making this type of content and we're just going to keep doing it. There's no doubt about it. But today we're going to talk about something something pretty common to the frauditors and the frauding community, and that is this.
I don't need permission.
Yeah, you do.
No, I do not.
Yeah,
Read
you
poster
do.
7. Read poster 7.
Okay, hang on a second.
Sure.
I'll do you one better.
No problem.
Public area, poster 7, and that's how it's going to go. I can film from any public area,
And that's fine.
and I'm here to do business yet myself, so
Are you?
yes, I am.
What can you say on that?
I will film in there when I get to that. I'm not to that point yet.
Alright, excuse me everyone, make sure no credit cards or identifications are shown, please.
I'm just filming. Hey, thank you.
Got herself involved.
Thank you, man.
But you do not have the right to impede the process.
I'm not. She's in.
You should check out Hamtramck. It's way older than this.
I did. Don't get me.
Yeah,
Don't
you
put
can't
me
give
on
the
that.
customers anything like that.
Don't put me on there.
If I wanted to, I could, ma'am.
No, you can't.
You can't.
Guess I have to call the
sorry.
police.
Go ahead.
So I think the best place to start with this is to ask the question, is it illegal to film inside a post office? And the answer, surprisingly, is no. So you might think, well, wait a minute then. So does this mean that the frauditors have the right to go in and film people, patrons inside the post office? Well, Poster 7, which is what the post office uses to govern the actions and conduct on postal property, clearly states that yes, photographs may be taken in all public areas of a post office at any given time during business hours. But it's the key point that's mentioned there. It says, except when prohibited by authorized personnel or by a court order. Now, I heard this argument being said many times that, oh, an employee is not an authorized personnel or they're not the postmaster. But the question is, what is an authorized personnel? I mean, what gives them the right to dictate whether or not a person can or cannot film? Well, look at the definition. Legally, this is defined as an employee who has been given official permission to do something and who is subject to any potential hazards on a particular job site. Now, as an employee of said establishment, yes, employees have the assignment of enforcing the rules and regulations of the post office. So by them enforcing Poster 7, this is part of their duties. This is part of their responsibilities. So could a frauditor technically film inside the interior of a post office? Well, technically, yes. If they were to do it in a civil manner and they were to go about the proper procedures, which we'll talk about, they could film inside a post office. But again, it's the manner in which the frauditors do this, the way that they behave to elicit a negative reaction. That's the problem with them filming inside the post office, which, as we know, are the common traits of a frauditor. Now let's dig a little deeper. Title 39, Statute 232.1, under the conduct on postal property. Now this is key. Now there's two key things to note. Subsection C. It goes on to state that it is required by all patrons to comply with all signs and the direction of authorized individuals. Speaks for itself, right? But notice subsection E. Subsection E goes into detail about specified conduct on postal property that is clearly prohibited. Now, disorderly conduct, it starts off by saying, which obstructs the use of the postal facility or disturbs the employees while in the course of their duties and or obstructing the services provided on the property is prohibited. And this is where the controversy comes from. It's how the frauditors want to film on these postal grounds. They intentionally do it to be a public inconvenience just to push their agenda, which is not protected by the First Amendment. They say they have the free right to press in a public building. Okay, that's questionable and arguable, but the way they go about these audits in post office, intentionally making people uncomfortable, intentionally acting in a way that is disorderly, and as specified in subsection C, that is strictly prohibited, and that is why they are not allowed, most of the time, to film in a post office. Now, there's one case interesting that I think is applicable here. Moore v. United States from 2005. That's funny enough because this was not so much about filming inside the post office, but the conduct of an individual entering the establishment and him being banned from using the post office in person. Now, it's very interesting. In this case, He initially filed that his rights were being violated under the First Amendment because he was banned from the post office and filed litigation. However, the courts ruled the exact opposite. They said that the post office did indeed have the right to regulate the conduct inside their establishment. And if you notice, they quote subsection E again, under disorderly conduct, because his conduct was disorderly. So again, frauditors always want to say that they're being oppressed by the use of the camera itself. And, even though that's up for debate that they don't follow the regulations for using cameras, it's the conduct itself. It's not the camera per se. If it is disorderly, if it does obstruct, if it is unruly, if it is disorderly, then this violates the terms of the use of the post office and is 100% lawful to deny service to anyone engaging in such conduct. And before anyone attacks me saying, oh, well, how are we supposed to get the right to film? Literally, on the Postal Service's website, there are specific requirements and instructions on how to film inside a post office. So again, no one is being oppressed here. No one is being attacked. If an individual wants to demonstrate their rights, they simply have to go through the proper channel, which again, by the 10th Amendment, is granted to the business establishment itself. Time for a brief review. Unfortunately, filming is not illegal inside the post office as one might think. However, the Postal Service does have the right to regulate what takes place inside the post office. And unfortunately, by means of fraudulent conduct, that is why they are not permitted to film, because they act disorderly. I know this one was anticipated for a while, but again, this is the very fundamental principle that these frauditors don't seem to understand. Hopefully one day they'll be able to educate themselves on Poster 7. But thank you again for your guys' continued support. As always, continue like, sharing, subscribe. Goals 1,000 followers, we're getting there. But until then, we'll see you guys next time.